All right, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was really disappointed when I saw the patch notes released yesterday by 2K. Initially, when I first saw that they released the patch, I was thinking, man, they probably really are considering some gameplay changes because the game has been, man, on some next level type of horrendous type of stuff. But upon reading the patch notes, I said, oh man, 2K is still on that same type of BS. To me, it just feels like 2K is disconnected with the player base. One of the main things that 2K has been promoting this year from the very beginning of the year, the onset of NBA 2K23, was that defense was gonna really mean something. And the reason why I feel they're disconnected with the player base is because I don't think 2K realizes how many players actually appreciate being really good defenders out there. There was only 3 bullet points in regards to gameplay changes in this most recent patch, and I want to bring those up. It says reduce. The very first one says reduce on-ball steal effectiveness when reaching across the ball handler's body from behind. And y'all sound off in the comment section if you consider that to be a good thing, because ideally that would be a good thing. Ideally that should have been something that was never incorporated into the game, especially considering when 2K introduces the shading system. Now, if you guys don't know, the shading system was tried once before in 2K and it was just a broken mechanic, just as it is in NBA 2K23. The idea behind the shading system, at least this is what 2K was trying to promote in the beginning of the year, is that if a ball handler goes in the direction of a defender, then that shading system will turn red, giving the defense an increased chance to steal the rock. The ball handler made a wrong decision going the wrong direction toward the defense, puts the ball in front of the defense should get a steal. But of course, we received another failed mechanic and another failed attempt at this shading system for NBA 2K23. Ball handlers consistently make the wrong decisions in the direction of their dribble, consistently put the ball in front of the defender, but the defender does not get the steal as they should, or as often as they should. Now, we all understand we don't want to go back to the beginning of the year where a defender getting a pluck on a ball handler was just relentless. But the community was in an uproar about steals, so of course 2K made an adjustment for the offense. I would like to mention that I do like on-ball defense, but I don't like the idea that if you play the correct position, like if your defender has the correct positioning on a ball handler crosses from his right hand to his left hand, puts the ball right in the defender's face, and you're out there rocking with like a 99 steal and you're unable to steal the rock and you're swiping at the air or swiping through a ball handler's body, it just defeats the purpose of that cat and mouse game between a good on-ball defender and a good ball handler. Ideally, it seems like it'd just be an easy mechanic to maintain. If a ball handler makes the wrong decision, the defense gets to steal. If a ball handler makes the right decision, then he gets to work past the defense. But 2K has this failed mechanic inside the game, and we're out there watching ball handlers consistently make the wrong decision and not suffer any repercussions for the decisions made. I want to reference this tweet sent out by a Laker fan. He says, my opinion without having played the game yet. He's referring to after this most recent patch. He says, I'm all for the pluck nerf, as am I. I don't like the idea of someone stripping the ball from behind you or wrapping around you and warping toward a steal animation. But I also noticed that those animations were extremely toned down from what we had seen earlier in the year. So it already had been nerfed. What's the reason for an even stronger nerf in this most recent patch update? I don't yet know. But Laker fan goes on to say, I don't really care about that in the grand scheme of things, but Hall of Fame unpluckable is already impenetrable. He goes on to say, now you're about to have dudes out there with 30 ball handle immune to back taps entirely. And that's a big pause by Laker fan, but it is what it is. You know what he was referring to when people were trying to steal the rock from behind. Y'all sound off in the comment. How many of you locks have gone up against players with an extremely low ball handle and you're unable to kind of steal the rock for them, in which case it should be an instant steal? 2K has something, it seems like just 2K has something against defense, or there's something about defense that 2K doesn't fully understand. And that's my biggest issue with 2K. Is extremely discouraging. Although I like the idea that us as lockdown defenders were able to kind of contain. Containing is not that difficult, but just as an offensive player likes to dribble and get away with certain dribble moves, or likes to shoot and knock down buckets, a player that creates a defender with a super high steal attribute and a super high perimeter defense should be rewarded for the attributes that they allocated on that player build. And I feel slightly manipulated and finessed by 2K when they introduce something like a shading system, which begs the idea that 2K is trying to understand defense and implement and incorporate defense into the game, making it a more viable option for players out there. Because as a lockdown, I feel like there's nothing more rewarding than making the right decision, playing the correct side, and having 2K have like a shading system in there to tell you that you're playing the correct side. When the bar turns red, as a defender, you're thinking, this is my opportunity to steal the rock. You got all the badges you need, menace, ankle braces, glove at super high levels, but 2K rarely rewards those efforts by the defense, all because of broken mechanics in the game. If 2K understood the mechanic that they tried to sell us in the beginning of the year, I think the player base will be happy to see it, accept it, and not only that, it will build a better player base. I feel like if the offense learned that they made a mistake in their dribble move or dribble direction toward a defender, they wouldn't let it happen again, and that's where the strategy comes into gameplay. But right now it's RNG, and the animations that we receive as defenders are not in line with our attributes. I'm definitely not trying to bore y'all with my commentary on defense or what I feel about broken mechanics within 2K23. That's not my goal here. My goal here is to say 2K, the player base is much more intelligent, much more strategic, and have a good understanding of basketball, more so than what you guys think. And you continuously, it seems like 2K just continuously dumbs down the game, and this is yet another effort into this last patch is another effort in 2K dumbing down the game, because they think that the player base just wants offense. When the player base, in my opinion, is complaining, they're actually targeting the broken mechanics in the game, like warping a defender into an on-ball steal. But it doesn't make sense when you have an animation that warps a defender into an on-ball steal, but when a ball handler actually crosses over into the defense, considering that shading system telling both players that there was a wrong decision made by the ball handler, and the defense is unable to get that steal, that's when everything goes down the drain, in my opinion. Because now the ball handler and the on-ball defender are both confused as to when a good defensive animation is given to the defense. Both players end up extremely confused, where if the mechanic worked properly, the ball handler would know, I cannot cross over to the left because the defender is on my left side. Let me walk it over to the right and try a different move, or reset, step back, reset, and start face to face, and then work that defender that way. I just think we're past due time where 2K needs to stop selling hoop dreams and get back into these animations, and make sure if you're going to introduce a new mechanic, something like the shading system, just introduce it properly. The 2K player base is not nearly as dumb as 2K wants to make us seem, so there's no reason to dumb the game down. And those are my thoughts on the most recent patch update. If they patched your player, sound off in the comment section below, because I have a feeling that locks are not happy about this most recent patch update. And you know how 2K is, when they touch something, it turns to crap. And usually a lot of other aspects of the game are touched and turned into crap as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all be sure to keep it locked right here at AllCity Live TV, because we got a bunch more NBA 2K23 news, information, and updates coming your way. Drop a like, drop a sub on your way out. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.